What the heck was that? A freaking devil? That 5-cylinder snarl that kick-started an all-wheel drive revolution, both on the streets and the rally stages. It's the German car named Four in a non-German language. This is everything you need to know to get up to speed on the Audi 4 Quattro. In the winter of 1976, Audi engineers were in snowy Sweden testing the Volkswagen Iltis, a Jeep-like 4x4 they'd been developing for the German military. One of them, Jörg Bensinger, realized that their pokey 75 horsepower Iltis handled the snow way better than any of Audi's more powerful front-wheel drive sedans. The light bulb came on. Hey, you got all-wheel drive in my sedan. No, you got sedan on my all-wheel drive. Most all-wheel drive vehicles at the time were tall off-roaders or clunky cars like the Jensen FF. They used a big transfer box to split the torque between axles. It wasn't an elegant setup, and it didn't jive with Audi's philosophy of building sophisticated road cars. But Bensinger wanted to try anyway. He pitched the idea of an all-wheel drive sedan to the head of R&D, Ferdinand Piëch. Ferdinand Piëch. Piëch was like, yeah, give it a shot, but only if you work on developing a high-performance street car. He was a scientist, and he was already thinking that maybe this new Audi would be a good car for racing. So, Bensinger and a development team led by Walter Tresser slapped a two-door Audi 80 body on one of those four-wheel drive Iltis drivetrains to show off what it could do. They took the mule and a bunch of Audi execs to the snow and ice-covered Taracher Hoha Pass in Austria in January. There's a lot of words that I don't know how to pronounce in this episode. There's a lot of letters that I don't even recognize. I just want you guys to know that I'm trying my best.
I'm glad that he acknowledged it. It was distracting.
The prototype's impressive performance in the 30-degree grades convinced the head honchos to approve production of the new all-wheel drive car. But no one actually thought it was going to be a big seller. The fact that Audi put its engines ahead of the front axle made them perfect candidates for all-wheel drive conversion therapy. The power could easily be sent straight from the back of the transmission to the rear wheels. But they still had to figure out how to get power to the front wheels too. Just making a car all-wheel drive stuff is hard. Two transmission experts on Bensinger's team, Hans Nevbedek and Franz Tengler, came up with an idea. They could make the transmission output shaft hollow and run another shaft straight through the middle of it to drive the front wheels. It was a super smart solution that was perfect for a sports car. Enter the Audi Quattro, power to all four. The Audi Quattro debuted as the company's first all-wheel drive car at the Geneva Motor Show in March of 1980. It wasn't gonna be cheap, and the company didn't think they'd sell many, but at the press conference, Peach passionately announced that it was the start of something big. Today sees the premiere of all-wheel drive for the road-going passenger car. That's a lot of emotion coming from a German. The hatchback coupe had chiseled fender flares, independent suspension, a 5-speed transmission, and a turbocharged 2.1-liter 5-cylinder engine making 200 horsepower. In 1980, the new Quattro did 0 to 60 in a not-so-shabby 7 seconds. Drivers could take advantage of the all-wheel drive system, which they also called Quattro. Peach was right. People wanted all-wheel drive for the road-going passenger car. Millions and millions of Audis have been sold with Quattro all-wheel drive. So fans now refer to the car as the Quattro to differentiate it from the drivetrain. The means original in German. In reality, the Quattro was actually just a parts bin special. It was built on an Audi 80 floor pan. It was full of Mark I Volkswagen Golf components, and it had the now infamous inline 5 engine out of an Audi 200.
What makes this new car so special here, Pierre? It has a 5-cylinder engine. A what?
But it was a special parts bin special. Every Quattro was hand-built with real human hands. Audi had a special team of 20 people working 8 hours a day. Each car took 1 week to build and only 3 came out of the factory each day. Peach wanted to go racing right away, and Audi quickly formed a new factory race team called Audi Sport. They took a race-prepped Quattro to several WRC rallies. It was the first ever rally car to have a turbo, 300 horsepower, and most importantly, that holy grail of traction. All-wheel drive, my babies. All-wheel drive. It didn't meet the FIA's homologation rules because Audi hadn't sold 400 of them yet, but it was allowed to run anyway as a non-competitive entry. You know, just for funds. Development driver Hannu Mikkola would have won the Algarve rally by over half an hour if the Quattro had been eligible. So things already look pretty good for Audi Sport in the upcoming year.
You think so?
Critics thought the all-wheel drive Quattro was too heavy and mechanically complex to be successful in a rally, but they quickly ate crow, just like me in a crow eating festival at the fair last year. In 1981, Audi Sport officially entered 2 cars in 8 WRC events and won 3 of them. Mikkola drove 1 Quattro in its first victory at the Swedish Rally, which was only its 2nd event. Michelle Mouton drove the other car to win a rally at San Remo, becoming the first woman ever to win a WRC event. Nice job, Michelle! Stig Blom, you guys are all named after dragons. Stig Blomqvist joined the team in '82, and Michelle led the team to 2nd, 3rd, and 4th places in the Drivers' Championship. They also helped Audi win its first Manufacturers' Championship title. The next year was the start of the infamous WRC Group B era, when they dropped almost all of the restrictions on how the cars could be built. Because, I don't know, everyone went crazy. Audi dominated the series with the Quattro A1 and A2, and Mikkola won the Drivers' Championship. They slayed the competition again in 1984, with Blomqvist winning the Drivers' title and Audi scoring their 2nd Manufacturers' title. By the time 1985 rolled around, sales of the production Quattro Coupe had exceeded expectations. So Audi put Quattro all-wheel drive in every other model they had for sale. Meanwhile, horsepower wars were raging over in WRC's Group B, and Audi wasn't about to be left out. They made a homologation run of 224 new production Sport Quattro S1 models that cost more than 200,000 German marks. That's 4 times more expensive than the regular Quattro. It's a Quattro that costs a Quattro. It got a huge turbo, Kevlar reinforced body panels, and 12.6 inches chopped off the wheelbase to make it more maneuverable on the rally stages. Colby, roll that sweet, sweet Group B footage. The stubby little production cars made around 300 horsepower, while the rally versions were pushing 450, baby, just like me on chest day. But serious crashes started happening in Group B, and Audi started to question their commitment to the factory team unless changes were made for better safety. They pulled back a little, and the Quattro's glory faded some in the '85 WRC season. They only won at 1 rally, but Blomqvist and Walter Roll, yeah, I got it? Still managed to come up in 2nd and 3rd in the Drivers' Championship. And Michelle Mouton impressively won the Pikes Peak International Hill Climb with a time 13 seconds faster than the previous record. By 1986, the Rally Sport Quattro was making 500 horsepower and sprouted a huge rear wing and front splitter for more downforce. A recirculating air system was added to help keep the turbo constantly spooled and provide quicker throttle response. The car slimmed down to 2,400 pounds, and it could do 0 to 60 in an insane 3.1 seconds. few of the race versions also got a new power shift gearbox, which was an early version of a direct shift gearbox, kind of like Volkswagen's modern DSG. Hey, hit that subscribe button if you want Bart to do a science garage on DSG so we can all know how it works. The Sport Quattro S1, driven by Bobby Unser, won the 86 Pikes Peak International Hill Climb with a record time yet again. But over in WRC, everyone's worst fears were being realized. Separate crashes by Group B cars killed several spectators. It was quickly announced that the fan favorite Group B cars, including the Audi, would be banned next year. Not wanting to tempt fate, Audi pulled its factory teams out of the rest of that year's WRC rallies. That's like honorable, man. Cause like, racing's cool and all, but life's cooler. They returned to WRC Rally in 1987 and got on the podium a few times, but never had the same success there again. The fire-breathing Sport Quattro wasn't banned from Pikes Peak though. Baltimore took a 600 horsepower S1 to Audi's third consecutive record-breaking win there, beating Unser's previous time by 22 seconds. After that, Audi focused more on building all-wheel drive production cars instead of racing ones. While all that sick rally stuff was going on, Audi had launched the Quattro in North America. It went on sale in 1983 with a few changes to comply with American safety and emissions standards. It had bigger impact bumpers, a catalytic converter, and lower turbo boost to the tune of only 160 horsepower. You know, the usual crap where America never gets the cool stuff. Over the next 3 years, Audi sold just 664 Quattros. Just too shy of the most metal number. Audi pulled the Quattro out of North America in 1987. Back in the European market, production Quattros were getting updates like ABS, wider wheels and tires, better handling, and more power! After a couple years of the 2.1 liter engine, Audi bumped the engine size to 2.2 liter called the MB. And when the Sports Quattro version got 20 valves instead of 10, Audi passed that down to the regular production model too. The 20 valve engine was called the RR, and it made 220 horsepower. It was good for a 6-second 0 to 60. Even better, the manually locking center differential was replaced with an automatically locking Torsen differential in 1987. But aside from changing the grille and headlights, the badges, and a few other little things, the boxy hatchback looked almost the same for its entire production from 1980 to 1991. And fewer than 12,000 Quattros were sold over those 11 years. At the 1991 Frankfurt Auto Show, Audi teased the world with a mid-engine 2.8 liter V6 Quattro Spider concept. It's been all but forgotten now, but at the time, the super sleek concept attracted a ton of attention. But unfortunately, the economy was looking bleak and Audi didn't think they'd sell enough to justify the cost of developing it. Maybe it wasn't the right time for a new mid-engine sports car right then, but it was the start of an idea that led them to eventually give us the incredible Audi R8. Even though the Quattro is gone, don't despair because its performance-driven all-wheel drive soul lives on in every Audi built today. Yo, thanks for watching Up to Speed. We make videos every day to make sure you don't miss any. Hit that subscribe button. What other cars do you want us to cover? What other engines? What other people? Let us know in the comment. If you want some sweet donut merch, we got a ton of new stuff. Go to donutmedia.com to pick yourself some. Follow me on Instagram at James Pumphrey. I love you.